Hey everyone, Brian here, your honest mechanic. Today's video is all about issues with your vehicle's steering shaft and some common symptoms that can indicate it's failing. The steering shaft is an important mechanical part that connects your steering wheel to the steering gearbox. It allows you to smoothly transfer the rotational motion of the steering wheel to turn the wheels left and right. Over time, the steering shaft is subjected to a lot of stress from road vibrations and the forces required to turn the tires. This can lead to wear and tear or even damage. If unnoticed, steering system issues can get serious quickly. That's why it's important to watch for any steering shaft failure symptoms. One of the most common signs is steering wheel vibration. As parts inside the shaft, such as bearings and connectors, wear down, they introduce tiny amounts of play. What was once a tight connection now has a bit of wiggle room. At high speeds, this unwanted movement adds up and you'll feel it as vibration or looseness in the wheel. Another telltale issue is increased difficulty turning the wheel. When components inside the steering shaft start to bind up or corrode, it adds resistance. You might notice the annoyance gradually getting worse over weeks, or suddenly not being able to turn as sharply. While power steering helps mask minor issues, a badly worn shaft can still make the wheel unexpectedly stiff to turn. Listen for strange noises too, like clicking, popping, or creaking sounds. This often means internal joints connecting the sections of the steering shaft are dry or damaged. The sounds will likely get worse while parking when more rotation is required. It means parts are binding or loose fittings are rattling around. Visually, check if your steering wheel is off-center while driving straight on a flat road. If so, your front wheels may not actually point straight, despite what the wheel position tells you. This difference in alignment will accelerate tire wear and make driving the vehicle tedious as you're constantly correcting direction. Speaking of tires, watch for uneven wear patterns. If the steering linkage has too much play from a worn shaft, the alignment slowly drifts as mechanical slop allows things to bend under pressure. This scrubs away rubber quicker on the edges of your tires. Don't forget to get alignments done because a quality shop can catch underlying steering issues. You'll also notice slower steering response with a bad shaft. Remember how solid shafts precisely translate tiny wheel motions into turning the tires. Well, once things get loose and sloppy, there's a noticeable lag between your inputs and the vehicle reacting. This gets worse with time and miles. Finally, if the wheel is slow to recentering or doesn't quite make it back to dead center after turns, that's a big red flag. It likely means significant wear that's allowing too much free play in the system. Get it checked out because it's not safe driving a vehicle that won't track straight without constant small corrections. If you notice any of these symptoms, have your trusted mechanic inspect the steering shaft sooner rather than later. In most vehicles, it runs along the underside and connects to the steering gear under the dashboard. Depending on the design, your mechanic can check for play in the joints by rocking the wheels left and right with the car lifted or on blocks. There are also stress tests that check for smooth, consistent resistance as the wheel gets turned lock to lock. If caught early, sometimes just tightening loose fitting solves things. But severely worn parts will need full replacement to prevent the possibility of failure at higher speeds. As always, preventative maintenance goes a long way to reduce major repairs down the road. So in this video, you learned what the steering shaft does, what causes it to fail over time, and the common symptoms that indicate it needs attention. If you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.